How's it going, YouTube? As you can see, we're back in the camper and we've got some jobs to do on here again today. Amongst other things, the main thing I want to get done is get the inside of these cupboards lined out in the places that need lining out. Let's have a look and I'll show you what I mean. Everything kind of looks done until you open the cupboards up. And then as we can see, at the back of the cupboards, look, they're still all bare. Same across all of them, look. We need to get the back of these cupboards all lined. And what I want to do is I want to make them so all the lining that I put there comes off so I can get to bits like these wiring down the back, just in case I want to do any modifications and stuff like that later. As you can see up there, I've been insulating it. But on these back ones here, look, I've still got the insulation to put in to get all that insulated up so we don't get any condensation in those gaps. So what I'll be doing in these back cupboards is I'll be leaving this back bit there, but this angled bit and the roof bit here will be covering that over. So that's kind of the main purpose of what I want to get done in this video. But before we do any of that, I've got a little bit of a repair to do on the van. Let's sit down and tell you what's going on. So the last few times I've been out any sort of distance, traveling locally is perfectly fine. I'm finding a bit of an issue when I go a long way. I'm hoping what I'm going to do today is going to sort it out. But also what I'd like is if anybody's had a similar issue or know of a similar issue, please comment below to help me out on this, just in case what I'm doing today doesn't sort it out. So what's been happening is if I drive far away, drive a long way in one go, everything's obviously getting hot. If I stop the engine, go into, say, a petrol station or whatever for a coffee, come back out, go to start the engine, it literally does nothing. You can hear it clicking, like the solenoid and everything's coming in, like it's trying to start, but it doesn't actually turn over. And what I find is if I try it 3 or 4 times, then after a few times of trying it, the engine turns over and it goes. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to change the starter motor for a new one. I don't know whether that's the issue or not, but that's the first thing I need to try. I have read on the internet people having issues with fuel pumps and stuff like that, and then the immobilizer's holding it off for like a certain amount of time or something like that before it'll let it go to protect whatever's going on. I don't know if I'm having the same issue here because it doesn't seem to be a set amount of time or anything like that. It's just if I've been on a long run and the engine's really hot and all that sort of stuff, when I go to start it again, I've had it in petrol stations and stuff like that where I've stopped it, I've gone to start the engine again and it's literally done nothing. So I've had to sit there, try it a few times, and then eventually it goes. Like I said, you can hear the solenoid and things like that coming in. It clicks as you turn the key, so it is trying to do something. It's just literally just not turning over at all. I've got myself this off of Euro Car Parts. This is just a Lucas starter motor. Not the cheapest and not the most expensive. I'm hoping I've bought the right one. There was only 2 options for my van. One was the start-stop model and one was the non-start-stop model. I believe my van is the non-start-stop model because it doesn't do that. And if it did, there'd be a button on the dash to turn it on and off. But I can't see anything like that at all. So the first job is one of those jobs that you really cannot be bothered to do, which is fitting this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the ramps out, drive the van up the ramps just to lift the front up a little bit. In fact, let's have a look. I'll show you where the starter is. Right, so if I get under the van right at the front here, just where the pipe is here, which I'm assuming is the intercooler, you see that little silver bit up there? There's the starter motor. So if I just need to pull out all this pipe work out of the way, and I should be able to get that out. And just to make things even more fun, is the last few weeks I seem to have got an influx of ants. So I get to lay on the floor with all the ants, which makes it great fun. Right, so I'm going to get the front of the van up in the air a bit, and let's get this starter motor changed. Right, that's that new starter on. Just reconnect all this battery and let's give it a go. Let's start it up all right. So all I've got to do now is next time I drive really far, I need to see if it does the same thing again. Right, for anybody that wonders how I do this as well, I've had the battery off, so you can see now the time is flashing. Because this was originally the sat-nav model, and you set the time and everything from the radio, the other models you can set it from down here, but this model you can't. You need to use the radio, and I've not got the CAN bus connection into this thing here. Let me show you a little trick of how I set this time. This is a complete absolute bloody nightmare way of doing it, but the only time you actually have to do this is if you've had the battery disconnected. Right, what I've got down here is I've got the original stereo system, and then what I've got is I've got it bodged in to an OBD plug here. I found a blog on the internet somewhere, I can't remember where it was, where you can literally wire this up. So when you plug it into the OBD, it powers up the radio, and it also gives the CAN bus connection there. So what I can do is I can temporarily plug this into the OBD port, it'll power this up, and then I can use this to set the time and the date. A bit of a pain in the arse way of doing it, but that's how I've been doing it. It's not really bothered me, to be fair, because the only time, like I said, you have to do it is when you've had the battery off, which has probably been twice since I've had the van. And there you are, done. You can see it's now set. I'll report back in a later video once I've been away somewhere far to see if that's actually fixed the problem. Hopefully it has. But if anybody's had anything the same, let me know down in the comments, just in case it is something different, and at least it'll give me an idea what else to look at. But hopefully that's sorted it out. I'll find out next time I go away somewhere quite far again. Right, so I'm going to get my hands cleaned up and let's start covering these inside cupboards. Right, so as you can see by this big mess I've got on the desk here, I have been doing something. So I've lined most of the cupboards out inside the van. I've left a couple so we can see how to do it. What I've basically been doing, look, is getting some old scrap bits of plywood from down there, you know, the little 5mm stuff, and then I've been covering it with this stuff. I've used a spray adhesive to stick it on, and then I've just folded the edges over, look, just stapled them on, and then I've got some of this heavy duty Velcro there. I've stuck some across the back and stapled it on, look. So let's grab these two pieces here that I've just done. Let's go in the van and have a look what I'm going to do with them. Right, so these pieces here, they're for this cupboard here. And what they're going to do is they're literally going to go across this back here. You can see there I've got some more Velcro. I've stapled it on so it don't pull off when we try and separate them. And then I've got a bit of wood there that I've screwed onto the side just to support this here. One piece of this Velcro down the middle will be plenty to hold this on because I've got these quite a tight fit anyway. And what I've done is if we start with this one here, what I've done is I've separated it into two pieces just to make it easier to get in and out. So if I push this back right now, as you can see, it's quite a tight fit. And then let's get this top half on, and then that cupboard should be lined out. And that is that cupboard now done, look. So if I ever want to run any wires up and down there in the future, those bits there are just Velcroed on. So I could push that back there where that indentation is, get my finger behind it and pull those off. So that makes it so in the future I can do any wiring or anything like that I want to. And the cupboard looks nicely lined out. Next job I've got to do is I've got to do this one, but this one is actually the last one I've got to do on the van. If I have a look next door, look, I've done exactly the same there. I've got two pieces, as you can see there, and then I've got a third one up at the top. These are all Velcroed on, all exactly the same, so these all come off. Right, these back cupboards here, I did these slightly different. If you can see in there, what I've done is I've used 3 separate pieces of wood and then covered them all together. So what it does is it allows this little fold in these places here. Because we're behind this, this is where all the wiring and everything is, so we've got a 45-degree bit there. What I've done is I've done exactly the same up there. I've got the Velcro and I've stuck that to the roof and stapled it on, and I've stuck it to the back of this board and stapled it on. So that's stuck up there with Velcro. The middle bit there is just floating because it's joined via this cover. And then the one at the back there, I've just put the spiky bit of Velcro on the back because then it sticks to this carpet. So what I did was I pushed it up as high as I can get it and then stuck that back on the Velcro. So that has trimmed those corners up nicely. This particular cupboard on this side, look, because of this and there's some wiring down the back, I've done the same thing with the 3 pieces of wood, but what I've done is this bottom one here, I've taken it all the way down to the bottom. And I've done the same on these 3 cupboards here as this first one here, where it's just got those 3 pieces and it just goes down onto the carpet at the back. And also these 2 at the front of the camper as well. I've done those in the same way, look. 3 pieces of wood, all covered up together, and then it allows it to bend around those corners. And then I've Velcroed it onto the back there where the carpet is. So I've literally now, I've just got this one to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this in 3 separate pieces, one across the top there, and then I need to do a full one all the way down the back, and then a little angled one there. So I'm going to figure that out, how I'm going to do that. I'll catch you back in a minute before I stick these panels on, and then we'll have a look how I've done it. Right, hopefully this should be it. This should be the last one. Right, so let's have a quick look what I've done. What I've done here is I've got some strips and I've pocket holed them there so I could screw them to the side and put some Velcro on there. So that's creating the points for everything to stick to. Up the top as well, I've put a strip on there to give this a bit of a 12mm gap because I've got this wiring and stuff there, so I can cram that up out the way. So what my plan is to have the top piece and this back corner bit there in kind of one piece. So what I've done is I've made this bit here, look, out of 2 bits of wood, and I've covered it in one. So you can see how I've done those back ones now. This is exactly how I've done the back ones, look, and then this will fold around there. So this bit will go on the top, and then this will be down the back. So it'll stick like that. And then I've put the Velcro on the back, look, so it sticks to the top bit there and this back bit there. So that'll be that bit. And then that leaves one bit there just to stick on there over the back. Which is this piece underneath here. This is the one piece that will go over the back. So let me get these in and let's see what it looks like. Right, that's those in. Let's have a quick look. There we are. That's the pieces in. So it's got the top bit, that little angled bit there, and then this back piece here. So if I ever want to get any wires in, like I said, I can literally just squeeze my fingers behind there and pull that out. So that is the last of the cupboards done. Right, so that's another couple of jobs done in the camper. Probably not the most interesting video in the world, but hopefully it helped a few people out. And for me, it's another job that's done as well anyway. I know this camper's starting to look complete, but we've yet still a few more jobs to go on it. So don't forget to subscribe if you want to see some more on this camper, or generally some more videos that I make, because I do make different things as well. Comment below if there's anything you want to say. I do like reading all your comments. Like the video if you liked it, and I will catch you again in another video. Cheers.